Hello guys, I hope you're all doing well. Joppy Noodle Legs here today. Just here to have a little chat with you. You know I like to do this now and again sometimes, but obviously this is mostly going to be about YouTube and my channel, okay, going forward. First of all, I really want to apologise for people that come into my premieres. A lot of the time I'm not there when they're up and they come into the chat, and I'm so grateful. There's some people like Russell, Amy, and Moon that come in pretty well. Moon definitely comes into every single one of my sort of premieres, and I'm so humbled that you take the time out to do that for me, and I love it so much. And please continue to do so if you can. But I'm just apologising if I'm not there sometimes. It's mostly down to work. I work such long shifts, and my shift patterns all over the place. It's sometimes I do late, sometimes I do earlys, sometimes I do middles, and sometimes I just seem to be at work forever. And I obviously before, when I was off ill, as you know, I've got some really serious health issues now with my health. And they also affect me not sometimes being in the premiers. Sometimes I'm asleep, because my health catches up with me sometimes, But when I was off work, I had a lot of sort of time to get my channel sort of established and kind of like get a little bit of a following. I've got over 400 subscribers, so thank you. You're all insane subscribing to this mad old man waffling on about horror movies and music and um, invertebrates. So it's a bit of a crazy time. But I thank you for it. Yeah, but I am sorry if I don't come into the lives, uh, my premieres a lot of time. It's just simply because I'm just not around. I'm at work, or I'm recovering over illnesses and stuff like that. Because of the illnesses I've got, I'm sort of really prone to so many other sort of illnesses, pneumonia and all things like this. Um, so sometimes it takes it out of me, and I'm just not um, well enough to sort of like be there. But I'll still put the content up for you. I hope you're still enjoying it. I really do, and I hope you're liking the new way that I'm doing the horror videos with the little sort of clips up here. I've just found if I do that and with no sound on it, I tend to not get my videos blocked, because lately YouTube have been blocking so many of my videos, and it's just been like really difficult to get my content out for you. And I have mostly been focusing on movie, because that probably is my biggest sort of hobby, that I love most, and that I do most, really. Yes, I love my animals and my spiders, but unfortunately that's not feasible to keep up doing videos every week. I know some YouTubers in the spider hobby do it, and they buy loads of different sort of spiders, and they do. I've got something on my shoulder. They buy loads of spiders and mystery boxes, but that's not me. Okay, it's just not my cup of tea. I buy a spider because it's something that I love, and it's a pet, and it's something I will cherish, and I'll love to the day it sort of dies, or I'm in a situation where I can no longer sort of take care of them and have to move them on. But there's been a lot of stuff going on in the hobby lately, in the spider hobby. That is not the horror film hobby or anything, but the spider hobby. A lot of sort of bitterness going around between lots of different people. Um, Lots of friends falling out. Lots of sort of bitchiness going on, and some people being nasty to other people, and it's really put me off the hobby, to be honest, to the stage where I'm actually thinking of leaving the hobby, because I just don't like to be surrounded with that sort of negativity. There's enough of it in the world as it is. I think in this day and age we need to be looking out for one another and being kind and being nice and not trying to prove that you're better than someone else. I'm a better keeper than you. I've got more subscribers, that means I'm better. And all this sort of thing goes on. You see it all the time. And certain keepers only speak to somebody if they think they're going to make a difference to their channel. If they're going to be, if they could, this person's, oh no, they're not going to make me any more popular. They don't bother talking to them, they ignore them. And it's just so petty and stupid. But there's been lots of things going on. Friends falling out. Some people having bad times in their life, making mistakes. And, trying their best to get over those mistakes. And people in the hobby, they think that these people think they're friends, have not stood by them. They've sort of like washed their hands of them and kind of like almost trying to get them, I don't know, bad-mouthed around it and all this sort of thing. It's just so shallow and childish and silly. So I just, it puts me off. I'm in the hobby because I love, number one, I love the spiders. And number two, I like to be surrounded with people that are positive about it and just love the spiders too. And they're there. When I first came in the hobby, there was none of this. There were like loads of sort of live streams I used to join, and they used to be great fun. And there was none of this sort of like I don't know, bitchiness going around and all sorts of things. And outside of this sort of YouTube, all this sort of stuff happens, and it's just like, oh, I don't want to be a part of that, because it's just like, I have enough going on. I'm trying to get around my health, trying to get around, to be there to support my little family. It doesn't matter how small it is. I've only got a tiny little family. So it's really put me off the hobby, but I'll let you guys know in the future if I decide to go down that line of taking myself out of the hobby, which is something I'm thinking about. But anyway, this was just up about my channel going forward. It will mostly be movie based and sort of music based. Just because, like I said, when it comes to like these little guys, my spiders, I can't buy them just for the sake of something to put on my channel, because there is a cost. The spiders themselves can be expensive sometimes, and spider prices have gone up. And it's not only that, it's the enclosures. These glass enclosures behind me are not cheap. Some like Exoterras now are not cheap. Unless you buy second hand, which if you drive is fantastic, but if you're like me and don't drive, your chance of getting second hand is negative. So it's a very expensive hobby, and then you have to buy all the things to go into the enclosure, and then buy the food for them all the time. And if you've got so many, then that's going to be extortionate. Luckily my collection's not too big. I must have about 25 or so spiders, a few scorpions, and and because of that, when I do one sort of like food shop for them, probably once a fortnight, that's probably enough to get them through. And sometimes once a month's enough to get them through, because they're not big eaters. But if you've got a larger collection, that can be quite horrendous. So the cost factor can be a big sort of turn off to the hobby as well. But I'm not saying I'm leaving at the moment, but it's just something I'm thinking about. But until then, I will still give them all my love and attention, and I will obviously post any videos up while I'm still like in the sort of hobby. Now, when I'm say leaving the hobby, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get rid of my spiders, because I actually love them. I love them as my pets. I care for them, so I don't think I'd be getting rid of them, unless I seriously have to consider it because of me health, maybe because of having the time and being in health enough to look after them. I'd probably just keep them as my pets. But when they pass on, I wouldn't replace them or anything like that. But I just have to see how that goes. If things work out better in the hobby, like in the sense of like all the sort of like bitchiness, all the sort of like all this sort of stuff sort of dies down, and people just start to become one again. Yes, some things have happened in the hobby. Some people have had problems, but they need your support and love and understanding and to get them through this, because we're all human beings. None of you are saints, You've all messed up, You've all done something wrong, you know, and you're probably all doing something wrong now. But, at the end of the day, none of us are saints. We all make mistakes, but we're all human beings, so we should be allowed to get over that, unless we're some sort of mass murderer or something like that. But that's all I'm going to say on that subject. But I hope you are still enjoying the channel, and also I hope you're all following my Christmas message about kindness being magic. I hope you are being really kind to one another. It's not showing lately. It's more showing the opposite. But just be kind to one another. Kindness is magic. It really is. It's just sort of like it helps each other get through the next day and helps each other get through any sort of horrible times in life. I see a lot of posts on social media of people saying how bad and low they feel. I'm just thinking, well, why are you posting that? Is it attention, or is it you're seriously feeling that you need support? Well, if you need support and help from others, maybe you need to start supporting and help others too. If people want help from one another, then they've got to help one another too, right? So that's how that sort of works, I think. But it can happen. It can happen just by being kind, just by messaging someone, seeing how they're doing, and taking maybe a step back and having a look at sort of things. But just be kind to one another, guys. All right, really, really important. It's been a difficult year so far already this year, especially on my sort of side of things when it comes to work. Obviously, I work on the railways, with all these sort of strikes, and I don't know when it's going to come to an end. I just don't know. I mean, I know they're in talks at the moment, but you've got to realise this thing on the railway, these strikes are not just about money or pay rises. They're about the future of people's jobs. Because obviously, when the unions went forward to the companies for a pay rise, because a pay rise is a reward for hard work. And you remember the railway worked throughout the whole lockdown. They were there with 3 years without a pay rise or anything. We worked through the whole lockdown. We've been there every day, all trains still on time. Cancellations are going to happen, just happens. But being at work every day. So they applied for sort of like some sort of pay rise because of all the bills going up and everything. And then the rail companies offered a minimum pay rise, but with 1,000 terms and conditions to be added to it. Now, terms and conditions shouldn't be added to a pay rise. It's pay rise a reward, not something that to distinguish to change your terms and conditions. But they're looking at getting rid of people's jobs, people's livelihoods, families. Who've got mortgages or whatever. So they're looking at making a lot of people unemployed. So this is why they're striking. It's not just because of money. It's to help these people survive these jobs with better working conditions, and for the future of the railway, for anyone coming into the railway into the future, because it's not about just looking after number one. It's about looking after the future for others too. There must be a sense of selflessness in this world for us to survive, I think. And at the moment, I don't see any sign of that. But yeah, just be kind, guys, to one another. It's been a difficult year I'm sure you're all going through it and having the strain of your bills going up, and we're all seeing it, we're all doing it. But, we can still be nice to one another, can't we? Just make life a little bit easier. Like I said to you at Christmas, just be nice. It's you get less hassle, you know, from things. But hassle tends to find you. I mean, I've had problems, hassle from this year, mostly in the spider hobby, and it's just like I haven't done anything. But there we go. And so, but that's fine. You know, you do what you like. You know, that's fine. You know, I'm a grown up, and I'm a man, and I can take it. So it's fine. But just be kind to one another, all right? And please, still subscribe to my channel. Keep watching the videos. Next few weeks, I'm going to be doing a few sort of like week things again, like I did an Arrow week and things like that. I think I'm going to be doing our Alfred Hitchcock week, and I want to do the Gates of Hell trilogy week and review the 3 movies in the Gates of Hell trilogy. So I might be doing those, and hopefully be going down to see the lad in a few weeks, because he's getting near his birthday. So I'm hoping to go and see him at the end of April, and hopefully he'll be up to see me in May. So that's all that's happening in my channel and my life at the moment. Just working hard, still recovering from my illnesses that are just continuous. I know I've got these for life now, and I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it every day, and as long as I keep fighting, I want you to keep fighting too and keep watching my channel. See you soon, guys.